Alright, testing, 1, 2, the mic is on, the music's on. My wife just got home, everybody is safe. Looks like we're good to go. Just gotta check this to make sure we Gucci. Just gotta check my dashboard. Looks like everything's online. Alright, we good. Welcome to another episode. Let me get it going. Hello, my wife. How are you? I'm getting ready to stream. So, you okay? Long day? Yeah? Okay. Toby will give you energy. He already got fed, so he's good to go. He already ate. There's a bark box right there. You can open the bark box one. It's on the stairs. Oh, yeah. Toby's got a bark box. Sorry, I gotta close this. So, just been working around with Octane a little bit, and so I created a render, and we're gonna see how it works out. Probably gonna fuck this up, but we're gonna mess around with it, because I created a little scene using some 3D scan and stuff like that. So we're gonna get into it, we're gonna see what's good with it, and we'll go from there, yeah? But what I want to do is, let me close this scene out a little bit actually, because this is probably, I would pause the rendering actually, for starters. But yeah, so we're gonna leave this alone, and we'll close this. I think it's saved, so we should be good to go. But I want to start maybe kind of putting in a little bit of like some texture and stuff like that. That's what I'm aiming for. So. We're gonna go that route. So I had the characters there, I got those from a stock place, so everything should be good to go. So I want to get a little bit of like a lighter texture here. So let me just put this, probably gonna work my way from the back a little bit, because I don't want all that stuff here, so. Hoping to create a little bit of a noise, and then we'll just kind of work our way back. So sorry, so we're doing this a little bit early. I'm probably gonna have to change the time actually moving forward, because soccer season is starting up and I have soccer practice, so that kind of sucks because I'm playing on a more competitive team. So apparently they practice and I'm like, what did I sign up for? So that's happening. So we'll see how that goes, but for now I think we should be fine. So anyways, I'm just going to get all the fog stuff kind of taken care of here, and hopefully that will begin to kind of start working. And so luckily with these renders, it gives you a little Z-depth path and stuff like that. Shout out to Pablo, the Dos Pablos, for kind of there at my place last week. That's why I wasn't actually streaming last week, because I had to entertain some guests, but they were kind enough to kind of walk me through some of their process in terms of like just using like 3D software and stuff like that. So it was actually like super helpful. Okay, so what I can do here is I can just make this selection super easy. Boom. Turn that off, and then there you go. See, now it's behind and I don't have to worry about it. Or actually, you know what, I need to select that one too. There you go. So now I got that little selection. It's cheap but super awesome. So I'm just gonna erase a little bit. So I just want to get a little bit of that texture in there, just a little bit more. And I could probably maybe do one more of texture, probably just in front of everything. So that's one. So we'll probably do one more layer, and that layer can just be here. And that will probably have to go in front of the characters, I think. So we'll group these, and then we can kind of push that out. I just want a little bit of like light noise. So, you know, what I could do actually is put it behind the ground plane actually. So I could go into here and just sample that. And then just kind of erase a little bit more so that way. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of does that a little bit more. Which if that's the case, then I need to put it behind it. So. But you want to create a little bit of that kind of nonsense, right? That kind of juicy shapes on both sides. So I'm going for the juice. What's up, Fitz? What's going on, bro? And then eventually we can start to kind of maybe edit some of this stuff. So I actually want to put in a couple of layers of like of snow. So I gotta find a good color for that. So I was trying to figure out how to do it like straight up in Octane, but it felt like it was gonna take too long. Not to mention that like I don't want to do that in Octane because I feel like I'll lose some of the artisticness of it. So I want to see if I can just do this manually is what I'm hoping for. If I do it manually, then I feel like then I can get a little bit more of that kind of edge control, a lot of that kind of stuff going down. So that's what I'm hoping for right now. So, but so far the renders have been treating me really nicely. I've been kind of watching some videos by Julian as well. He's a concept artist over at ILM. He has some really good content as well. So I've been learning a lot thus far. I've been kind of like just like up late night, actually, probably in detriment to my health. So I just got a brand new computer with like a 2080i video card and everything, and like 128 gigs of RAM. So I've just been kind of like trying to like essentially break my machine, and essentially I kind of did because one of the video cards doesn't work, one of my 2080s doesn't work, so I have to RMI it. I'm kind of like annoyed that I have to do that, but you know, the company is working hard to get it taken care of for me, the people that built it for me. So I did to send it in, and hopefully that will, I'll get a new one, and then I'll have two 2080s, and then everything will render as quickly as I would like it to, because that's the goal, you know. So yeah, so the render isn't perfect by any means, so I'll have to extend some things. So I'll probably have to eventually either cut this part out here or cut it back in here, either or. But we'll worry about the cropping later for now, just because I can. Cropping is kind of an easier thing to kind of worry about. Because I probably will actually fill out the shape, because I actually don't like that shape either. So I'll probably end up having it go actually off the screen, so that way it doesn't work that. So, but video card is fine. I mean, I have one of them is working, so that's fine. So it's not the end of the world. But and it's still a million times faster than what I had before. So. I'm not tripping about it, but it is. I would have liked to have got everything and then had it just work like as is. But you know, shit happens when you're building a expensive ass PC like that. You know, there's gonna be things that aren't gonna work for whatever reason. But yeah, got the RMA, got this shipping label. I think I just got to email it to me, so I gotta probably print it out tomorrow, and this weekend I'll probably just go over to UPS, send it out. And then hopefully I'll get the new one sent out. Oops. Now I kind of want to just get a little bit more of this noise. So I can probably worry about the noise later. But what I do want is some of this nice, like, right now, what I would like to do is just get everything kind of situated. So if I can get all this stuff like situated, like in terms of like the graphical read of the snow, this is going to be probably like super important. So if I can get that reading the way I want, then I feel like I'm in a good spot. So I'm just using this kind of this shape tool that I've made a long time ago. That usually works pretty well for this kind of stuff. So, in terms of like the texturing and stuff. But every once in a while, I'll kind of mix it up. I have a bunch of like John Park's brushes, I think, from some of his tutorials, and it's always nice to kind of just throw in a little bit of a different texture in there. But I don't want to spend too much time on this because one, I only got an hour to see how far I can get. And then two, this is why I'm zoomed out, because I don't want to like get too caught up in those details. But I want this flow to kind of happen here on this right side. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too stressed out about it. So let's work on these two. So that's like the really nice part, is having all that Z depth. So I'm actually gonna make a color of this. So if I make another color of that, then I know like the red things will be like my snow pattern. So then I won't have to like write stuff down. There we go. So I did it that way before. So I could probably just paint like a huge like thing, or I can just get like a really big shape. So I mean, there's plenty of ways you can actually do this. I'm not too worried about it. So. Like that right there is just huge, right? Like, you know what I mean? And then I can easily kind of just like, that's kind of the way I like to do it, is I like to kind of like get a big shape in and kind of just cut out of it. And kind of just paint in a very subtractive manner. And then if I feel like I'm not going to get that shape again or for whatever reason, then I would probably just like use a mask, because then I can paint it back in. But I think in this one, it's not going to be a big issue. But eventually, I'll have to kind of light this stuff too, which is going to be like the next bigger issue. See, so like that's kind of cool because it kind of has like a little bit on the top. I'm trying to keep that verticality in the strokes as I'm erasing. And I want it to kind of follow the form a little bit more. This makes bigger shapes. So if I can get a nice big kind of erasing kind of brush stroked on this, then I'll consider that a good day. So yeah, I'm not sure what days I'll be, like what time I'm going to be streaming. I'll have to get like a consensus about what works for like my 5 people that actually come and watch me. But we'll figure it out in the meantime. Because now I have my online class too with Academy, so there's like a lot of stuff that's kind of going on. Not bad. underneath this though, I wonder if it's worth kind of throwing in a little bit of a different color. So that, and just kind of making like a nice big kind of brush stroke on something. So I'm hoping by kind of doing that it will create a little bit of like a noise. So I would like to subdue the texture a little bit so it's a little bit more flat. So I want to be more graphic, less flat, but I'm not sure if that's going to work. So that's fine, that's fine. Where's this guy? There's that. Okay, I'll probably turn that off actually, so that I can properly see what's going on. So already I don't like that. That looks like ass. So maybe what I need to do actually is just kind of probably paint it manually. I think is probably the best idea so far I can think of. So if I go back there, you know what? I'm not gonna worry too much about actually painting outside of it for now. Why don't I just make the broad strokes, get kind of super graphic with it, and then I can worry about erasing. And then if I need to, I can always use, you know, these rake brushes or something. Like that. Like that's kind of cool. Close. Rake. There's elliptical. Oh, see, that's actually a really nice texture right there. I think that works really, really well, I think. Okay, that's BTX1 erase. So I'll have to keep that actually. I'm trying to find a nice eraser brush that would like, that would work there. Yeah, so I think that BT erase one is going to be like my go-to right now. So I can kind of put in those shapes where I think they need to be and then let that kind of go through. But before I do that though, I still want to use the same brush to kind of create like some nice texture and stuff. Yep, because it seems like when you do it manually, you just get a better result. And inverse that selection. See, like that feels nice. And maybe I can throw a little bit of like a little bit of that kind of color on there, something like that. But anyways, we'll go back to that BT erase one. I'm just gonna touch it lightly. Let's see where that goes. So I'll probably be switching back and forth this guy like a lot. Ooh, so this might be a good, kind of a good spot to kind of It's not bad. I like this overlap. Ah, it's not bad. Now, I probably will have to kind of like really kind of mess with the shapes. I'm still not kind of sold on the shapes though, but to be honest, I'm not even sure if it's even like all the rendering is even worth it. I'm gonna try to do some sci-fi shit, and I feel like that's when it's gonna be like super fucking worth it. Once you do sci-fi shit, like having 3D in that, and it's like hard surface and like there's like heavy perspective and like heavy material indication, that's when it becomes like a pain. So I don't know if I like all that. What I don't like about this is that it's fucking... Oh man, that's so dumb. So I made a mistake here, and my mistake is like a personal thing too. It's like not even like a big... It's not a big deal, but like I hate when things are evenly spaced in terms of like texture. Like you can see the detail, like this shape right here, and this shape right there, and that shape right there. They're both like... It's like evenly spaced, and I don't like that. It ends up looking bad. So I gotta find a way to either go like it's like a 50-50 in terms of like this shape and that shape, and then you get like right there. I feel like it needs to go like that. So I probably need to simplify that a lot more. So I feel like it needs to be a big stroke, like huge. Like I need to group the detail here, and equally with the big brush. So by simplifying that, I feel like that looks cooler. So that's like a personal thing. I don't even know if that even really makes sense, like in theory, but like that's the way I like to think about it. So it's like a nice kind of 70-20 kind of feel. Ooh, alright, I like that though. And once we get some noise on this texture, I feel like the ball's gonna be rolling, which makes me really feel like I need to simplify this, because this is like way too much. But luckily I feel like it's kind of an easy fix, because all you have to really do is just kind of do that, is kind of just follow the perspective and kind of create a little bit of those shapes. Try to get some of that juicy quality, and just a little bit of erasing just here and there will get you that juicy stuff, that the Jay-Z stuff, that funk, that nasty, that gushy stuff. I would play the song, but then I might get copyright strike. There we go. See, now we're talking. See, like that kind of stuff? I'm all about that shit. Cool. Alright. probably need to... Let's actually merge these guys down. Let's rasterize them, because I'm not going to make them any bigger. I already know that for a fact. No. Merge it. So they're both in shadow, and they both need to be made like more blue, so... Okay. And we'll do that to them. Blue. So hopefully by making this more like blue, it will kind of stand out a little more. His saturation though, a little too high for my taste, which isn't that much of a taste. We're good to go. Okay, and then his feet are gonna have to change. So, well, I can do this one of two ways. You know what? Let's just distort it. Distort or warp? Maybe warp. No, distort. Let's distort it. This isn't important per se, but it's gonna bug me because it's a pretty easy fix. So it's like, why not just like fix it? Warp. Get down. Yeah, see? Now it looks like he's actually standing there. Okay, cool. So that's better. And what else we got? Sorry, I'm just kind of... Yo, what's up, Jaden? How's it going, dude? I'm just kind of looking around right now, and I'm kind of just making sure that everything that I like about this is getting its chance to shine a little bit, you know? And the real question is, do I put some stuff in there? I don't know. I do not know. But I do want to... I'll probably actually just make this go off the page. So I'm trying to get some of that good. Am I in the wrong fucking layer? I am. I'm such a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Okay, now I'm not. Alright, we'll go. Alright, so yeah, I apologize if people are getting the times confused right now because of that. But I will change it. I just need to do it next week. I'm just tired. I'll be honest with you. Been super tired lately. Been doing a lot of physical therapy and stuff for soccer, and God forbid trying to work out and shit. And then I got this, and now I'm like up late, like just on the computer, just looking up shit. But I can tell you that it does make it a lot more easier to like to make like textures and stuff. Like, that's like the best part about it. So we'll call it painting. Finally, it works. So I wonder if I can even throw in some more texture on top of this thing. Personally, is what I'm wondering. But this right here is definitely gonna go like downward. But it's not bad. It's getting there. Like I'm starting to kind of feel it. There's that weird kind of like where you're kind of in like that 20% phase where it still kind of feels like ass and you don't want to admit it. And you kind of have to like kind of push through it a little bit. Well, I take that back. I feel like you should know. I feel like if you have a good enough like plan beforehand, you'll know when it will start to kind of look good, I guess. But I don't have a plan. But I feel like now the plan is starting to kind of really come through here. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I feel like it will help me if I have this nice, there you go, kind of just falling down a little bit. All right. Everything always looks good from a distance, and you zoom in, and it looks like ass. Oh no, but it's not bad. So I want like a little bit of light, of super light, like this kind of stuff, where it's like a little bit kind of random. I don't know how I'm gonna work that in, but like, that kind of stuff I think is always nice. And then eventually I gotta play with the form there a little bit, but I'll work on that. That's kind of like a tertiary detail. Like right now I'm working on the secondary details right now, which is like this kind of stuff. It's a fine piece of ass. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Now we can worry about. See, I want that shit right there, like that. Boom. Like that's already gonna be like juicy. I can already feel it. And then, did I save out like a shadow pass? If I did, that would have actually made it a lot easier to paint this stuff. Yeah, that's probably my fault again. I didn't save out like a shadow pass. Or, I have a Z-depth path, but there wasn't that much Z-depth. It's because I'm a noob. So yeah. So I want the spacing here to kind of be important. Like I want it to kind of frame the characters a little bit here. Like I want it so that it kind of goes like right to this guy. But it has to make sense within the geometry, so. So I think it's gonna just be a big brush shape, to be honest. And then, you know, we'll figure it out later. Where is this guy? Oh. So from there though, like I don't need those kind of shapes, so I could probably just kind of erase a little bit of it. But like this stuff right here can totally go in the direction that I want it to go in. So like that right there, that to me is a nice kind of juicy bits. So maybe I'm wondering if this right here is gonna help that, and it kind of did. So like I don't know if I want it to be like that crazy. The next thing is, should I just make another layer? Because I want the form to kind of turn, but it's got to turn obviously with it's got to turn in shadow, so like that's another thing that's got to work on, and I'm not sure if that's. So I could make another one and kind of put it behind it. That's what I'm thinking is like the best move, but I'm not even sure if that's really gonna work in theory. Like, should I put another one in there? I don't know. So my thinking here is that if I put another one here, I can make this a darker value, like a slightly darker value, and just put it behind it. So that way I don't have to worry about the form turning or me kind of erasing the wrong thing, because I actually really like that shape. So it's just kind of like a layering thing, like for the most part. It's like I'm just thinking like, how do I want to approach it? Do I want to do it all in one layer? Or do I want to be a wuss in these layers? Because layers are for wusses, let's be real. And... so is saving. Saving's for wussies too. You save your file. That's some wussy shit, dude. I never save. Alright. Yes, I did. I did finish the Heavy Poly Blender course. Good question. It actually finished this week, actually. Or no, last week. It finished last week, actually. Yeah, so I am a Blender master now. Just kidding, I wish. But I'm definitely like more competent in it. Not that I know of. It should be standard. I don't use. I have hard ops, but I'm not really that good at using it. I have to talk to actually Michael Young. He's like a hard ops like dude that like shows me how to use stuff. But for the most part, the heavy poly config is probably like the thing that like I use the most out of the class, or I got the most out of it. So that's the thing that you just take that file and you throw it, you know, in the configuration thing or whatever, and put it on startup or whatever, get that startup file, and then you know you should be good to go. So that shouldn't have changed. That like I think as long as you like go to his site or whatever and download it, I think you should be straight. Yeah, that's actually weird then. I would probably contact Vaughn if you can and find out, because let me see. Let's check real quick actually. So my Blender, so I do mine from Dropbox, so that's my other thing. So if I go to here, let me go to, hold on a second, let me do this on another screen here. I'm trying to figure this out. View. Options. Okay. Blender. Okay, cool. I'm trying to find it. Didn't want to waste your time here. So in there, 2.81. So I have that in there. So that's the startup blend file that like he gave me. And then in the scripts file, is it startup? Yeah, so it's all in the start. I think I put all in the startup, so it's all the heavy poly shit. So it's all in there. So that's where it is. Script startup. And then I don't think it's in any other place. I don't think it's in presets. So yeah, I think you have to take, so I think what you do is you take this heavy poly thing, you take I think you take the you take the config actually. You take that file and you put it in the 2.81. I think you just put it right here. You make a folder and then you just throw it all in there. So that's already in there. And then you take all of this stuff, everything else. You take all that shit, and then when you throw it in the Blender 2.81, you should go to scripts. I think on startup, and then it should all be in there. So that's where you get that. To download the latest Blender, I think you type in Blender builds, if I'm not mistaken. So I think if you do that, blenderbuilds.org, I think if you Google it, that should be the latest one, and that should be. But sometimes these ones are like kind of experimental. So, but they do have bugs, so that's that. But I think if you just go to regular download too, I think you can get like the regular versions that are like more stable. You know what I mean? So there you go. But by default, when you open it up, it should look like that, and if you hit the buttons correctly, then you're good to go. One thing I recommend, actually, if you like, I don't know if you have money for it, is I would get like a nice mouse. So my mouse, I have the same mouse at work actually for this same like actual reason. So my mouse. So I have a mouse that has like different attachments that you can put onto it. So you can do this attachment or like this. So the one that I have right now is just like, it's this 8-button thing. And so it has all of like the buttons that I use a lot. So like selections, extrude, inset, like whatever. So like that right there is like the face, you know, and then I can bevel it, and you know, and I'm not hitting any keys. I'm just using the mouse, like, so that makes it a lot easier because I just put the buttons like where I think that I would need them, you know, and like that just makes it a lot way easier in general to kind of do stuff, you know, like, you know, you can, right? So modeling is like way easier when you have everything kind of like laid out there. But there isn't like a right or wrong way, like whatever your keys are, but it's all like on my thumb. So those are the ones that like I use a lot. So I think it's worth like investing in a mouse that you can use, and then you can just throw the hotkeys on there, the ones that you like to use. And actually it's kind of weird because then like I actually forget some of the hotkeys because like they're just like modeled to like my mouse, but I just know where they are, but I forget like the actual command, which is kind of bad. But luckily Vaughn has a thing here, so then it has everything you need. So anything like these are pretty much like anything that I ever have a question about, I just look here, because like anything that's probably like worth using is probably a hotkey, and he has it right there for you, so you don't have to worry about it. So pretty simple, like it's pretty straight up. Like I was messing around with some stuff. I'm like getting more and more into it, right? Like I'm trying to do. Like I was showing my coworker Brian the other day some shit. What the fuck is it? Rocket? Yeah. So I was like building out like, I was trying to do some like sci-fi shit, you know, but I suck at sci-fi. I don't suck at it. I just need more time for reference, honestly. And I was like trying to build out like a nice little like. And so this I use Mixer, and Mixer is like my new favorite thing to use for texturing, because you can just make a displacement map and do stuff, and then just paint over it. So, but yeah, like the textures though are ass, like because I didn't actually like texture it properly. I didn't UV it at all. I just threw on some random sci-fi textures, but you know you can make some cool stuff. Like that's probably like what I wanted to like do with this, is make like a cool little like ring or something. I wanted to make like a cool space station, but I suck. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Hey, oh, that's cool. If I make it like a long ring, will it create like a cool shadow? I wonder. Yeah, it does. It kind of creates a shadow right there. That's actually kind of tight. Oh, that's from your Maya tutorial? No. So this is all like new shit. So I bought some textures, some sci-fi textures on like, I think I bought it on ArtStation. ArtStation had some like sci-fi textures that I could just download and just use them. So I just threw some on here. Like they're ass, right? Like this looks like total bullshit, but like the point is I can just get something on there so I can start painting over it. But honestly, I might start just making my own texture, taking my own photos. But there's plenty of like HDRI places you can go to get shaders and stuff like that. So, but I'm in the habit of like trying to make my own shit though. So technically, like I could make my own texture. So like this is where like Mixer comes into play here. And this is like one of my favorite fucking things. if you don't have an account, it does cost money. I feel like more and more like all this 3D shit is like more pay to play. Like if you have money, then like this shit is like you can like buy a lot of things that will just make your life a lot easier and just get you just more results, which is kind of unfortunate. That it's kind of a pay to play, but people got to make a living somehow. So I mean, it is what it is. So with Mixer, like Mixer is cool because then like let's say I want to make like a sci-fi thing. I'll have to download it. So I have an account and it gives you points, like a monthly subscription, you know, all that bullshit. So let me find a metal texture that I actually like. Is there one? I mean, actually, let me just go here. Metal. Alright, sure. So, I'll have to download it. God damn it. Alright, peace out, Fist. Alright, so you can download a texture. Did it download? I don't know. Wait, let me go to my local library. Oh, it's right there. Cool. So it loads the texture in, and all it does is it creates like tileable textures for you. So there you go. So I have a tileable texture, and the cool thing about it is that on their store, you can pretty much like mix and match and make your own custom texture. So that's where it's like pretty fucking powerful. So let's just say now that I want to go grab like, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let me grab like a nice bronze texture or something like that. Something super nice. Oh, they have decals too, which are really, really cool. So let's just say I want to unsupported type. What the? The one time I need y'all to be on me to be doing this. All right, we'll do that one. All right, that's cool. Anyways, just go to library and refresh. This is why like I have a nice computer now, because like now I don't have to. Whoops, I have snow water in here, and that's not what I want. Let's see. There you go. So yeah, so I can increase the threshold a little bit right there, and so like that's really cool, right? And then you can actually like you can mask it or something like that. So if I wanted to, I could technically kind of like paint that stuff off. And you can kind of like make nicer brushes or whatever. So like I'd probably need to do a softer brush. Opacity. Yeah. So you can do like all kinds of stuff. And the cool part is that it's like it's all tileable. So like this whatever I'm doing, it's gonna tile it. So like right there, it's gonna mix with it. So if I like get rid of this completely, this will be tileable. So you can do your own like kind of thing here, and it's like, you know, pretty cool. So like I can like, and you can do as many textures as you want, as much as your computer can handle, and like there you go. So then let's say that now like I want to throw snow on it, right? I just go to my library that I have, and I'll throw some snow on it, and then I'll increase the threshold a little bit. And then you can actually link stuff, kind of like in Photoshop, the way you link stuff. You can link textures to things, and then you can like warp it to the base. So by warping it, like it will lay flush onto it, kind of thing. And then you can offset it. You can do like whatever the fuck you want to do in this thing. I don't know what you mean on the model, but essentially when you're done, you just export this out, and it's a shader. So it saves you the bump, it saves you everything, and then you just throw it on something, and then you're good to go. So like a good example of this is like I made this one the other day. No. So here's one that I made of like rock. Like I mixed like an Icelandic rock or whatever, and I put like this red dust on it. And so if I wanted to, I could probably just screenshot this and then put a model in here or whatever. But that right there is literally like that rocket, that texture from the last thing. So that right there is this. Like I just made it bigger. So it's really, really easy. So I just got like a kind of a displacement map, put it on a plane, And so you can see the texture, and it's all like in there. It doesn't read 100% like the best, but like it's enough to get the job done. You know what I mean? Like it's a nice kind of start. So, but yeah, if I wanted to, I could take what I'm making in the mixer and then throw it on this model if I wanted to. But again, like, and they actually have a plugin too, which I don't have installed because I'm an idiot, where like you can actually just like export this directly to Blender or whatever program you want to do. That's where Bridge comes in. So Bridge has like a little thing. So Bridge and Mixer are by the same company, and the Bridge is kind of like Adobe Bridge if you want to think of it that way. And it just makes it like that much easier to like speed up your workflow. So you can go to their online library as long as you have points. So I forget how many points I have, but you can go to the online library, you download it, and when you download it, like it will ask you like your settings of what you want downloaded, and then you can export that straight to like you could export it straight to whatever program. So I think before mine was like Maya or something like that. I had it for Maya. But now, like, you could do it for Blender and stuff like that. So you have to just go to your settings and do stuff. But they have plenty of shit, so whatever you want. So it's actually a really fun program because it's exactly like Photoshop. Like, if you can use Photoshop, then it's the exact same thing. So that's where, like, those are kind of like my current things that I'm working with in terms of workflow, is like making my own custom textures for the ground using some mega scans, and then kind of putting in Octane rendering it and then painting over it. That sounds like a lot, but I'm just trying it out to see if I like it. Because this is a very common film thing that people do in film, is they'll do shit like this. Just because the results get you like super real, and then you can rotate it, you can do whatever you want. So like that's like kind of the nice part about it. So the next thing I have to figure out is like, how do I do all this shit, like all this snow stuff, like in the actual program, which would take forever. Well, not forever, but I just don't know how to do it. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I've been kind of on like a heavy like grind learning phase as I'm trying to just like figure out like how does all this shit like fit within like my my current workflow, and how can I be more efficient with it. But I still want to like hide it. Like I don't want to make it feel like I just got a render. Like I still want to make it like painterly, and I don't know like what the happy medium is. Like, in a perfect world, I could do, like, some John Park type shit where it has, like, this kind of weird, nice texture to it, but it has, like, a nice kind of painterly / photo quality element to it. And so I'm not sure, like, I'm not sure how to achieve that without... Well, I know how to achieve it. I just have to, obviously, practice, but I just need to figure out, like, what the process is for me. Because I need to know the timing of everything. Like I know what textures to use, I know what brushes to use, I think, but I have to know when to use it. Knowing when is like half the battle. Because everyone has the same brushes, everyone has the same model, but knowing when to use lighting, when to use certain tools in 3D, like that's the hard part. So, alright. Over. I gotta start getting ready to go to soccer. So if there weren't any more questions, so just so you guys know, remember Feedback Thursdays where you guys can like turn in work and I'll try to give you some feedback on it, just like my personal opinion. But Tuesdays is just regular painting. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Cool. So if there are any questions, I'll probably try to finish this offline, and I'll let you know what I figure out, and I'll probably just post it and see how I like it. But I'm probably gonna put some more lighting on the top of that and get that figured out. But yeah, thanks for everyone that came out. I really appreciate it. I know probably a lot of things to do, so I'll let you guys know like how well I'll do in terms of the timing of it. So you guys can just let me know, like people that actually do like the stuff. Do you like it when I come in like earlier or later? Because practice goes from 7 to 9, so it's already like a long time. So I have to figure out do I do a late one, like at 10, from 10 to 11, or do I do one like just earlier? You know what I mean? So, all right. Well, thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. If you have any questions, ask Pablo Carpio and Pablo Dominguez, because they know the shit better than I do. And I'll see you when I see you guys. Take care, guys. And thanks for watching. Starting.